We've all been there. The alarm goes off, but you hit snooze. The to-do list is long, but you scroll through your phone instead. The gym bag sits in the corner, untouched. And you tell yourself, I'm just lazy. But what if laziness isn't what you think? What if laziness is not a flaw of character, but a signal from your brain and body? Today, we'll decode the psychology of laziness, and you might never look at yourself the same way again. Let's start with a surprising fact. From an evolutionary perspective, laziness actually helped humans survive. Thousands of years ago, conserving energy was critical. Food was scarce, danger was constant, and wasting energy on unnecessary effort could mean death. Resting wasn't failure, it was a survival strategy. Our brains and bodies are still wired with this energy-saving instinct, even though modern life demands constant productivity. Neuroscience shows that when we avoid tasks, it isn't always about unwillingness. Often, it's about the brain evaluating cost versus reward. This is called effort discounting. If a task feels too big, too boring, or unlikely to give immediate rewards, the brain flags it as not worth the effort. That's why scrolling social media feels easier than writing an essay. The reward is instant. The essay's reward is distant. Laziness, in many cases, is really the brain's way of conserving resources for tasks it views as more urgent. But here's where psychology adds nuance. What we call laziness often hides deeper causes. Sometimes it's perfectionism, avoiding work out of fear that it won't be good enough. Other times, it's anxiety, paralysis in the face of stress. And often, it's burnout, the body forcing rest after too much strain. In all these cases, the label lazy is misleading. The person isn't lazy. They're overwhelmed, afraid, or depleted. Motivation also plays a role. Psychologists describe two types: intrinsic motivation, which comes from within, and extrinsic motivation, which comes from outside rewards. When we lack intrinsic motivation, when the task doesn't align with our values or passions, it feels like pulling a heavy weight. Forcing ourselves through extrinsic rewards alone, like money or praise, often leads to fatigue. This lack of alignment is frequently mistaken for laziness. Another fascinating insight is that laziness is context-dependent. The same person who avoids studying for hours might play video games late into the night with full energy. The difference? Engagement. The brain doesn't resist effort when it's enjoyable. That's why athletes train for hours or artists lose themselves in work without complaint. Laziness isn't about effort. It's about meaning. So what can we do about it? The first step is to stop shaming ourselves. Studies show that self-criticism increases avoidance, while self-compassion increases motivation. Forgiving yourself for laziness creates mental space for action. Next, break tasks down. The brain avoids big, vague goals but embraces small, specific steps. Instead of write the report, start with write one paragraph. Psychologists call this behavioral activation. Action creates momentum, which builds motivation. Environment also matters. If your bed is next to your desk, studying will feel harder. If junk food is on the counter, eating healthy will feel harder. Make good habits easy and bad habits hard. Reshape your surroundings, and laziness often disappears. Another trick is connecting tasks to identity. Instead of saying, I have to exercise, say, I am a healthy person. Identity-based habits stick because they align with how we see ourselves. When action becomes part of identity, resistance fades. And here's the bigger reframe. Laziness is not the absence of ambition. Most so-called lazy people want to do more, but feel blocked. The key is asking, what's the barrier? Is it fear, lack of clarity, burnout, or misaligned goals? Solve the barrier and the energy returns. So the next time you call yourself lazy, pause. Ask, am I tired, uninspired, or afraid? Laziness is rarely about weakness, it's about signals. Signals that you need rest or meaning or a new way of approaching the task. Humans aren't lazy by design, we're energy managers. And when we learn to listen to the psychology behind our so-called laziness, we unlock motivation, purpose, and growth. If this changed how you see yourself, subscribe and like Mind Decode. Because the more you understand your mind, the more power you have to change your life.